So I'm Graham, and I've been writing a project over the last few months titled The Orcadians of Hudson Bay. I grew up in Orkney and moved to Glasgow about 5 years ago. And for the last few I've been planning this. I found out a lot of years ago about just the history linking Orkney to the Hudson's Bay Company, which is in northern Canada. And around the kind of late 1600s to the early 1800s, there was a whole load of Orcadians went across and kind of made a name for themselves as some pretty hardy workers. And lots came back having escaped poverty and made their fortune, and lots stayed over and settled there and kind of shaped quite a lot of the history. So my kind of idea was to write some music, do a bit of research, take some of the stories that I found out about and make a show. And I started thinking about it in early 2016, and it just sat on the back burner for years. And then I spoke to Celtic Connections through Simon Thoumire and Donald Shaw about making a show for this January, because it's the 350th anniversary of the company in 2020. So it all kind of stemmed from there. Did a bit of research and just found out more and more interesting stories about the time. There's a few that I'd known from school and different bits of work I'd done. There was a chap called John Ray that was a discoverer of a large chunk of the Northwest Passage. So he was just a man from Orkney that went out as a surgeon and then became this Arctic explorer. There's lots of folk. There was a chap from just down the road from me that came back with a fortune. He founded a fort. He was a trading officer, and his fort was called Edmonton, which happens to be one of the major cities in Canada now. But he came back and built a school and a big house down at the bottom end of the island that I grew up on. So loads of really close connections that really just inspired all the music. And for the show, I've kind of put together a dream band. I've got Rory Matheson from Ascent, he's playing piano. I've got Padruig Morrison from North Uist, he's going to be playing accordion. Kristan Harvey, also from Orkney, she's going to be doing some fiddle parts. We've also got James Lindsay from Nairn, he's doing double bass. And Signy Jakobsdottir, originally from Iceland but lives in Glasgow now, and she's doing all the drum stuff. We're really lucky for the show. We're going to have Levant Dunard from Quebec. They were over for Celtic Connections, and I really kindly agreed to get involved, so they'll be playing on a bit of the show as well, which is really nice to have that cross connection back and forth with Canada. So really excited. It's a huge honour to be writing music, not only for Celtic Connections but also for a band like that, especially when it's to do with Orkney. They're all people that I've worked with on certain projects in the past, but never kind of sat down and had a band with them. I'm lucky enough in Glasgow to work with a lot of amazing musicians all the time, but when I pulled together these people, it felt really good, and it meant that I could write the music in the way I was hoping to, because the instrumentation and all works together for that. Although I took up the idea of the project in, like I say, 2016, it was kind of a couple of years. I was at the Royal Conservatoire along the road in Glasgow and made a couple of research projects there to do with the links between, and even researching how people write for a theme, if there's any particular techniques that make it different to just writing tunes. So looked into that loads, but really got kind of into the meat of the music over Christmas time there, just before the show. And it was funny, I went through lots of different ideas, but kind of essentially came to the conclusion that if I just wrote tunes and arranged them for the band, it's kind of how I like working, and hopefully that comes together in a way that works. I grew up in Orkney. Obviously there's an amazing fiddle tradition there. I've played since I was kind of 8 or 9, and it's one of the last few local authorities in Scotland that offers free fiddle tuition, or any instrument actually. So we're really, really fortunate to have that, and I was really lucky to be taught by Douglas Montgomery. He's been a huge inspiration in my playing, and even getting involved with projects through the school that were linked to the Hudson's Bay Company that I never once thought would turn into something like this. So Orkney's had a huge part to play in what I've been doing. So essentially working the whole project together, obviously my whole thanks goes especially to the band that have turned up, and it's one thing writing the music down and having a computer play it back to you, but for them to bring it to life for me, it's really special, really grateful to them for that. And also everyone involved in the production of the day. Obviously a big band already, but adding Levant and Nord into that, it's quite a big task, but everybody's been amazing to work for that. And it just kind of goes down to the amazing people that you meet working as a professional musician all the time. It's a pretty fabulous scene to be involved in, and I'm very fortunate to have that. So obviously the show's about to happen, and I've got everybody getting set, but hopefully it's a thing I can take a little bit further. I've got plans to record it in the future, and take it. I'd love to take it up to Orkney, and if there's the option to take it to Canada too, and just the kind of whole idea of how Orcadians have influenced Canada, and also Canada influencing life in Orkney. I think it would be pretty special, but it's an exciting project and one that I'm glad I've finally gotten off the ground and to get it going. Really excited for the gig to go ahead tonight, and we'll just have to see what happens after that.